Hello, it is July 2022, and before I get into this short video, just want to let everyone know that I had another visit to the hospital, but we seem to be hopefully narrowing down at least one of my problems, and hopefully that will be resolved soon. But I still have my other issues that are historic in nature that I have to take care of. So I thought I'd just mention that for whatever it's worth at this point. So that'd be 4 visits within a month to a hospital now. Anyway, I just want to also address while I'm kind of on this topic, how some people assume that, for example, just because in my videos I like to dress nicely, and I've talked about dressing nicely and having a vehicle to live in. Now some people have the audacity to say that, well, I can't be suffering all that much. It's mind-numbing. By what standard would you classify that? Do you need someone in a ditch, say for example bleeding, naked, starving, wintertime, before you might consider that suffering? Thomas Sowell, or Sowell, depending on how you want to pronounce his name, said it best, how people will gravitate towards those they feel sorry for, and those who they feel sorry for is dictated by, for example, social justice movements, or even media. And the media includes movies and stuff that pre-program people to expect something that's probably not even remotely close to reality. But am I suffering physically and psychologically all these years and now? Absolutely. Now, I've never once said that I'm the only person that's suffering in the world or whatever, or the only person who whistle blew and exposed something and had their lives destroyed for it. I never once said that. I only speak for myself, and I share my story because it's my story to share. I can't share anyone else's story because, well, I don't know them, and that's on them to share their story, right? But yeah, I do suffer, and I do deal with everyday problems that everyone else has, compounded with just trying to get basic needs and everything else met. Now I have my health concerns that I am now addressing. So I do suffer, and I don't know what delusional fantasy people expect someone who's suffering and everything else to look like. I don't know, that's on them, and I couldn't care less to try to convince people otherwise. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, when I was making my previous video, I just by happenchance came across a screenshot. It's actually a photo that I ended up making some comments to with regards to the timeline of events, and for example how there's inconsistencies, for example, with the testimony of the 2 former officers, Richard Kinnell and John Hayhurst, with timelines. And this picture comes from one of the disclosure packages. I can't remember which one. I think it was the second one. And as I said, disclosure packages, there's 4 versions of it and containing different information. Anyway, and when you just look at the timeline where they punched in that they arrived at, I don't know, around 11:30 p.m. Even if you want to say, well, that's true. Okay, I'm disputing that. They came before, and that's based on their own testimonies as well. They came before 11 p.m. But even if you just want to accept whatever, 11:30, they kept me without medical attention, beat up in the back of this police cube van for a couple of hours. And it was at least, I think, 4 or 5 hours before they had EMS come and try to help me. So if this was solely based on some nonsensical, and it was a pretext, they testified it was a pretext, alleged bylaw stop, Why? And then, you know, according to them, I went all John Rambo on them, and they, you know, defended themselves. That should have been, you know, easy done deal to the police station. Why hours later? Well, they spent a lot of time talking to the female when I observed that. But yet I'm the one carrying the burden for everything. And again, as I said, these two former officers, do they have anything to do with the actual sex trafficking or abuse of these vulnerable women? I have no idea. I don't know the relationship between John Hayhurst, former officer 2, as I used to call him, and the female. I have no idea. I have no idea at all. Only those two know. But I thought I'd share this for whatever it's worth, because it further supports the whole timeline thing, and how Bill Cummings, the judge of the trial proper for my case, said that if my theory would fail, there's no my theory, there's evidence. Anyway, for whatever it's worth, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.
Listen to this and write it down if you can't remember it. You're never going to outgrow warfare. You simply must learn to fight. I hear people say, you know, when is it going to get easier? When you die.